Lisa Betts-Klimas from MOMCODE, and I wanted to share about a really exciting collaboration we have with Giving Factory Direct from Cradles to Crayons. We are partnering with them to help fight clothing insecurity and to hopefully help 300 children get the warm winter clothes they need this winter. So I'm going to turn it over and introduce Rachel from Cradles to Crayons so she can talk a little bit about the program and why it's important to help kids and fight clothing insecurity.
Great, thanks, Lisa. So as she mentioned, my name is Rachel Brown. I'm the Senior Associate of Partnerships and Engagement at Cradles to Crayons, and I work specifically with our Giving Factory Direct program. But today I'll be talking about an overview of Cradles to Crayons and clothing insecurity, and then how our program fits in. So to start, one of the goals of Cradles to Crayons is to end clothing insecurity. And so right now we know that over 20 million children in the United States are at risk. And so, you might have heard of housing insecurity or food insecurity. Not many people have heard about clothing insecurity. And we define it as the access to affordable, adequate, and appropriate clothing. And we know that kids who miss school, lack of proper clothing is one of the top 10 reasons kids miss school. And this could be, they don't have weather appropriate clothing, they can't get on public transportation to get to school, they can't play outside with their friends. And we know all of this has a negative impact on a child's development. And one other thing, there's no national safety net to mitigate this unmet need. So for food, families can apply for SNAP benefits, or for other items, they can apply for WIC, but there's currently no resources for families and children for clothing specifically. And so Cradles to Crayons actually has 3 physical locations in Chicago, Philadelphia, and Boston. But you can see on this map, there is a large need that isn't being met by those 3 cities. And so Cradles to Crayons, the organization, has been around for 20 years, and they've helped families by providing children with essential items. So we've provided over 800,000 kit packs, over 1 million backpacks. We've engaged over 500,000 volunteers, and we've also given out 24 million diapers. But as noted on the past slide, there's still so much we could be doing and so many more kids and families we could be reaching. And so another thing we've learned in our 20 years is that the traditional way of donating clothing is inefficient. So you might have seen these green bins, you might have put clothing in there, and most of the clothing that we put in these bins, gets resold or recycled, but there's no way that we know it's going to kids and families that need it. And so what we've done at Cradles to Crayons is created a process where you can ensure that your gently used clothing is going to a kid that needs it and is getting a second life. And so one way that we ensure that gently used clothing can be used again is we have strict quality standards. And so one of our mottos that you'll see if you've ever been to one of our Giving Factories or our physical locations is quality equals dignity. And this means that we ask clothing not include rips, stains, or tears, that it not have family or religious references. So for example, shirts that say mommy's little angel, we don't know what family structure these kids have. We don't know what holidays they celebrate. So we ask that it be neutral on that end. And then no items from a specific event. So for example, a 5K event. We want to make sure that the clothing that we give to the kids we serve makes them feel confident and valued, and they're proud to, wear it to school and wear it in front of their friends. And so, as I mentioned, Cradles to Crayons has done some really great work in the past 20 years in Boston, Philadelphia, and Chicago. But now I'm going to discuss a bit more about our digital platform called Giving Factory Direct, which was started in 2021. And the platform came about for a couple of reasons. The first is that, there are 20 million kids in the US struggling with this. We recognized there was a greater need that wasn't being met in cities outside of those 3 areas. And the second is that, the COVID-19 pandemic happened and we saw an increase in our services and a decrease in the number of volunteers we could have coming into our physical locations. And so we started Giving Factory Direct to serve kids in new cities and also to engage donors all across the country, which is something we could not do before. And so what Giving Factory Direct does is it matches you with a child so you can donate high quality, new or gently used clothing straight from home. So the way that it works is a donor will look in their closet, they'll see what clothing they have to give. So for example, if they have a 4-year-old girl at home, they would get matched to a 4-year-old girl. So they pick the clothing, then they would log on to our site, get matched to a kid, and we give the individual items that are needed for what we call kid packs. They pack all the clothing up. We provide a prepaid UPS shipping label. So you put the shipping label on and then you drop it off at UPS within 10 days. And it gets shipped directly to our nonprofit partner, who then gives it directly to the kid that the donor was matched with. And then lastly, we ask that our donors share about their experience and share about the opportunity with their community. And so one of my favorite parts of the program is that it has the ability to make an immediate impact on the lives of the kids that we serve. So these are a couple of pictures of kids that received clothing from us. And you can see them smiling behind their masks. And we also receive quotes from the kids and their families. So I have a couple here on the slide. The first one is from a little boy named Jefferson. He said, "This gift is priceless because it came from people who thought of me. Thank you so much for the kind gesture." And we hear that quite a bit from kids who might be in homeless situations. It's really meaningful to them that someone thought about them. And then we have a second quote here from Jerome, who is the father of a little girl named Remy. And he said, "Remy loves to dress up, and the beautiful clothes she received made her feel like a princess. In this time when so many of us have so little, you made us feel that we lack nothing." And you can see Remy there in the picture, holding up a dress, really feeling like a princess and feeling confident in the clothing that she's wearing. And so that's a really meaningful part of the program, is that it connects people who have clothing with people who don't, and it can make a pretty quick and immediate impact on the lives of these kids.
I love that so much.
And so just to plug a couple ways that you can get involved, if you have gently used clothing at home, or if you'd like to shop for a kid, you can log onto our site listed on the slide, and you can use your group code as well. And then we'd also encourage everyone to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Giving Factory Direct for updates on our program. And then lastly, thanks for listening to me talk a bit more about the background of the organization and about Giving Factory Direct, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you might have.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I think, when we first found out about Giving Factory Direct, I thought, and our board thought, that this would be an amazing partnership opportunity because, our organization represents moms and families and kids, and we really, value the aspect of community, the aspect of reaching a specific child. So I love that we can, be matched with a child. I also was super excited that, kids can participate. They can find someone that they want to share either, their gently used clothes with, or even you had mentioned pick out new things for a kid in need. And I just know that we will be able to help so many people. And I love that direct connection. And the cool thing too is, there's nothing stopping us from reaching so many people. We all have lots of, well, not all, but many of us have clothing that the kids have outgrown. And rather than just put them in a bin, like you said, it is pretty special to be able to pack it up and know you're going to give it to someone who needs it, and to someone that you can make a connection with. So I just think this is an amazing program. So MOMCODE board has come up with a goal of reaching 300 kids through Giving Factory Direct. And we really want to encourage everyone to sign up, and maybe, one kid per child or more, and try and reach 300 kids through our community. So that's our big goal.
And hi, I'm Kim Fuller, and I'm the VP of Programs, and I'm excited for this program. And Rachel, I did have one question, and that was, how do you find the children?
Yeah, so the way that Cradles to Crayons works is we work with a network of service providers. So that can either be nonprofits, specific shelters, schools, caseworkers, and they identify kids in their community that could benefit from our clothing. And so the way that Giving Factory Direct works specifically is the nonprofit partners will let us know the specific kids and their names, and of course, the sizes that they wear. And that's how we match donors to kids.
I love it. Thank you.
And currently right now we are working with nonprofit partners in New York City and San Francisco as well. But we're hoping to expand to new regions in the coming years. So
Nice.
So you mentioned, and there's a code here on the slide, MOMCODE 2022, and MOMCODE, all of our community who sign up to donate, we will encourage you to use our group code so that we can know how many kids we're reaching and what the impact is. So just, when you reach out to sign up, we will have a link on our website and be sharing it on our social media. We want everyone to be sure and use the code MOMCODE 22 so that we can know what the impact is.